faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. It's a pleasure to be on with the faithful, the Niner Empire. Some of the best fans, y'all know it, in the NFL. Obviously, it's a great day today. It's a Monday, obviously. Hopefully, everyone's having a productive start to their work week. And the 49ers are 2-0. I mean, what could be better? Obviously, we know there are injuries that we will be, well, that we'll have more information on as we go on in the next coming hours and days. I'm sure Shanahan will update us on all that information. But, we're 2-0. And I just wanted to talk about the good and the bad from yesterday's game, between the 49ers and Eagles. And I'm glad that you guys are interested enough to watch me today. I appreciate it. And shout out to everyone watching, Jay in the Bay Facebook, and of course, Jay in the Bay YouTube channel. This show, of course, is nothing. This show is nothing without the fans, without the subscribers, without the people who are joining me in this chat right now. So let's say what's good. Let's see. Let's get into these comments. All right. So let's see. We got David. What's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, David. Hopefully your Monday is going well. Rams House. What's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, Rams House. Hopefully you're having a good Monday, man. Yeah, congrats to your Rams as well, man. They won their game. They took care of business. And wins in this league, they're not always pretty, but at the end of the day, as long as you get a W, you're good. And I just got some breaking news right now on my phone about the Niners. Looks like the Niners will be working out running backs Duke Johnson, Lamar Miller, and TJ Yeldon. That was just some breaking news. I'm going to create a ticker real quick. Just got this on my phone. I got to say, hot diggity dog, what's good to local 49ers fan. I'm loving that avatar of the IU show. And I appreciate that $5 super chat, man. He says, what's up, Jay in the Bay? Man, it's all good on a Monday afternoon talking about the faithful, the Niner Empire. I appreciate you guys coming through. I'm going to make a ticker real quick because we've got some breaking news regarding the 49ers. Looks like we're working out a few veteran running backs because, damn near every running back on the roster got hurt yesterday. So we have to work out some running backs. We're probably going to add some running back talent. The first name that popped up was running back Duke Johnson. We're working out running back Duke Johnson, Lamar Miller, and TJ Yeldon. So that's the latest 49er news. I'll add this banner right now. And that's the latest news, faithful. 49ers are working out running backs Duke Johnson, Lamar Miller, and TJ Yeldon. This is a fluid situation. I just got this news maybe about a minute ago, so I haven't done any research on how Duke Johnson, Lamar Miller, and TJ Yeldon have done in the past few years. But, hey, they're not on teams right now. So clearly other teams felt that they would not be able to contribute to their roster. But at this point, we need all the healthy bodies we can get because of all these injuries. So it'll be interesting to see who we pick out of these three running backs. I got to say, what's good to Payo Time. Thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. Good to see your Rams get a W, man. It was a hard-fought game, and I can't wait till we link up to the 49ers and Rams play, and obviously until we play our other division rivals, man. Payo Time says, congrats, Jay. Appreciate that. Payo Time says the Seahawks look nice in the fourth. Yeah, I mean, the Seahawks, they had a good lead, but you got to play full 4 quarters. And as a 49er fan, we definitely know that since we played Detroit and they almost came back on us. But you got to play a full 60 minutes, man. Big Play Slay, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, Big Play Slay. That's very honorable of you to say congratulations, man, because we beat your team, so much respect. And I think the Eagles have a bright future. I think so. I think they just hadn't played a defense like the 49ers, and we balled out yesterday. But I think the Eagles definitely have a bright future. 49ers Ultimate Report. What's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, John J. John J says, what's good? It's always a great sight to see Jay in the Bay. Best show on YouTube. You are too kind, John J, a.k.a. the 49ers Ultimate Report. I appreciate you for joining the stream, man. I appreciate that. Big Play Slay says, I'm just saying we would have won. Nah, I'm just a little salty. Yeah, I mean, it was a tough fought game. And I'm going to say this once, and I'll say it again later. But in those types of games where it's not a high-scoring game, I think that the winning team has to do these 3 things well. In games that are tight, contested, every possession matters. I think the winning team has to do these 3 things well, and the Niners did this yesterday. The winning team, the 49ers, what we did yesterday, we won the time of possession. We had the time of possession. I think we had the ball for about 34 minutes to Philly's 25 minutes. Special teams. We had a blocked field goal by Javon Kinlaw. He's got big shoes to fill. Javon Kinlaw. He basically negated 3 points by his arm, his hand. So we were great we're great in time of possession. We won that. We were great on special teams. We made some special teams play. And not only that Javon Kinlaw blocked field goal, but also shout out. I know, usually we don't give a huge shout out to punters, but shout out to Mitch Wishnowsky. Shout out to him. And you guys are probably thinking, Jay, what are you talking about? He's just a punter. But in games like this, in a close scoring game, both defenses are playing well. The game is all about field position. And the punters do a great job, in deciding field position, because Mitch had 5 punts yesterday, and 3 of those punts came within the 20-yard line. Now, what does that do? That creates more urgency, more anxiousness, I would say more anxiety for the Eagles offense to try to get out of their own end zone, and it forces the Eagles a longer field to get to their end zone. Basically what I'm saying. So our punter punted the ball inside the 20 3 out of 5 times. That's excellent job. Great job, Mr. Winowski. Excellent job, because that forces the Eagles to have to go down the field much longer, much more yards in order to get a touchdown. So that helps not only the 49ers defense, it forces the Eagles offense, to work harder to get yards down the field. So shout out to Javon Kinlaw, Mitch Wishnowsky, the punter. Our special teams, I think, did pretty well. We'll get to the punt return and kick return. That left a little bit to be desired. But other than that, the special teams played well. We won the turnover battle. And then the third thing was, time of possession, special teams. Oh, and red zone efficiency. That was another thing. Red zone efficiency. We were 2 of 2 in the red zone. Faithful. I mean, that's incredible. That's pretty good. When we got into the red zone, we scored. And that's something you have to do. And that's one thing I noticed that the Falcons did not do versus the Eagles when they played them week 1. The Falcons were able to get into the red zone. They were able to move the ball on the Eagles, but they weren't able to convert those red zone opportunities into touchdowns. And, that's something that you have to do. Faithful. You got to convert in the red zone, and the Niners did an excellent job with that. So, but, Big Play Slay, you guys have nothing to be ashamed of, man. You guys played hard. We just made more plays at the end of the day. Let's see. Pale Time says, I was worried the Niners would pick up Gurley. I would not want that Haha, no offense. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get Todd Gurley, and it's crazy because if you look at his stats last year with the Falcons, Todd Gurley had a decent year. He played every game. You know what? Let me look up his stats real quick. Let me look up his stats. But Todd Gurley, I don't know why he's not on the team, or is he? Or did Todd Gurley? Did he get picked up by the Ravens? I think he got picked up by the Ravens. I think. But if you look at Todd Gurley's stats last year, he played in 15 games. We're talking about Todd Gurley. He played in 15 games, 195 carries, 678 yards, and 9 rushing touchdowns. He had a decent year, and he stayed healthy. But I think Todd Gurley got picked up by the Ravens. I'm sure someone in the chat will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he got picked up by the Ravens. Let's see. Let's continue on with these comments. Young Hitter, what's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, Young Hitter. He says, what's good, Jay and the Bay? Hope you're having a wonderful, blessed day. I am. And thanks for tuning in to the stream. And for those that are just tuning in, latest news from the 49ers. The 49ers are working out running backs Duke Johnson, Lamar Miller, and TJ Yeldon because every running back we had yesterday got hurt. I haven't heard anything about Trey Sermon, but hopefully he's doing okay. I hear he's being evaluated for a head injury / concussion. Hopefully Trey Sermon is doing well, doing better than yesterday. And Elijah Mitchell, I think he left the game, but he came back in. I saw someone on the sideline working on his shoulder. And then who else? Jermichael Hasty left the game with the ankle injury. And so that's 3 of our running backs who all got hurt yesterday. We know Jeff Wilson Jr. is out. We know Raheem Mostert's out. We picked up Tanner Connor, and he was in the game yesterday. He was on a kick return. We also picked up Kerryon Johnson. So, but clearly, Shanahan and Lynch feel we need more depth at that running back position, and I think they are definitely right. So we'll see out of those 3 which one the 49ers sign. Coach Dante, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, Coach D. He says, what up, my boy, man? It's doing good on a Monday. Hopefully you had a good weekend, man. I don't know if did your Texans win yesterday? I'm not even sure, but I think they won the first week, right? So I think they're either 1-1 or 2-0. So, shout out to your Houston Texans, man. Local Niners 49 says, I think Elijah Mitchell would be good to go for next week. It could be Mitchell, Kerryon Johnson, and one of those 3 free agents. Man, I mean, that's that leaves a little bit to be desired. And it's crazy. I've been hearing some chatter. Jay and the Bay has been hearing a little bit of chatter that people aren't really satisfied with the 2-0 start. And I say people, I'm saying some 49er fans. And you can only beat who's on the schedule. This is not college football. This is not. You don't have to win by a certain amount of points. This isn't an AP top 25 playoff, ranking or whatever. This is wins and losses. We have to remember to take into account we're missing our 2 best corners, Verrett and Mosley. We're relying on a 5th-round rookie corner to basically be our number 1 corner on the team. Josh Norman was on the street 2 weeks ago, meaning he wasn't on an NFL team 2 weeks ago. He's our 2nd best corner right now. And we've lost how many running backs have we lost? Mostert, Wilson. And every running back on the roster has gotten hurt at one point or another. So we have to remember, we have to keep things into context. Plus, we went on the road the first 2 weeks of the season. The Philly, I give all my respect to the Philadelphia Eagles. They played hard. They played tough. They definitely were not a pushover. And I'm glad we came out of this 2-0. Was it perfect? Was it the best thing I ever saw in my life? No, but 2-0 is 2-0. The Seahawks can't say they're 2-0. Would you rather be 1-1? Would you rather be 0-2? I don't think so. So it was a good win. It wasn't perfect, and there are definitely some things we need to improve on, and I will definitely go into that as the show progresses. Titan Troll, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, Titan Troll. Hopefully your Sunday is going well. You guys beat the Seahawks yesterday, right? That was a good overtime win. You guys didn't give up. Shout out to you. Thank you, Tennessee Titans fans for beating the Seahawks. that matters to 49ers fans, obviously. Theodis Barber, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, TB. He says, why do everyone so down on what the 49ers are doing? Jimmy G doing great right now. We don't need Trey at this time. Theotis say, so bang, bang, Niner gang 100. Yeah, I think people want to see, they want to see the new toy and Trey. That's one thing. They're tired of seeing Jimmy manage the game, take what the defense gives him, make short passes 4 or 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. They want to see kind of like what Jalen Hurts was doing yesterday, throwing the ball deep downfield and things like that. And I want Jimmy to do what equates to wins. I'm not concerned about his yards. I'm not concerned about throwing deep per se. I'm concerned about wins. That's what I want to see from our quarterback. Doesn't matter if Trey Lance is in there or not, or Jimmy. I just want to see a quarterback make winning plays, and that's what Jimmy G did. He made some winning plays, and I think those type of people, they'll just be never happy. They'll never be satisfied. And at the end of the day, if you're a fan, it really shouldn't matter who's in the game. If we're winning, why? I don't understand why people have a problem with that. I guess because Jimmy's not getting enough fantasy points. I don't know what it is or whatever, but I'm not worried about fantasy points, man. But those people will be hard to please. And but we got 2 wins on the road in the NFL, and games are not easy in the NFL. Clearly, we saw that. And I think I'm satisfied with 2-0. Is it perfect? No, but I don't expect to play perfect football right now after the first 2 games of the season, especially with our injuries that we've seen. Dre Greenlaw's out. I forgot to mention him. Javon Kinlaw, Eric Armstead played. They were banged up. So we're definitely not we are definitely not as healthy as we were week 1. That's for sure. And to go out there against Philly and get a win, I think that was very good for the 49ers. I don't think you could really ask for more. Big Play Slay says, but in all honesty, that was a good game, even if the score didn't say so. Oh yeah, it was a good game for the Niner Empire. But like I said, the Eagles, they have nothing to be ashamed of, man. They play good, they play hard, and I think they have a bright future. Local 49ers fan says it's been like 6 years since our last block kick. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time. Honestly, I couldn't remember the last time we blocked a kick, and that was huge. Like that single block negated 3 points for the Philadelphia Eagles. So, that was huge by Javon Kinlaw. And also Mitch Wishnowsky, the punter, by, punting three balls in the 20-yard line, making the Eagles offense even harder to get to their end zone and score a touchdown. So, special teams played great yesterday for sure. Okay. And I gotta say, what's good? And a hot diggity dog, Travis Berg Jr. I appreciate that $2 super chat, man. He says, "How about my Raiders?" Yeah, y'all 2-0, man. Great win. Monday night against Baltimore in overtime, and then you go ahead on the road to beat Pittsburgh. So yeah, man, that was a great job by the Raiders. They are 2-0. And I know you are proud of your team. That's for sure, man. I wish we could play in the regular season. Hopefully the Niners and Raiders play in the regular season next year. I think that would be pretty dope. But thanks for the super chat. Thanks for tuning into the stream, Travis. OYG Sakona. What's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, OYG. He says, yeah, I was watching Norb Cam's channel live, but he's a really cool guy. Yeah, he's a Seahawks fan, but he's cool, man. He's very passionate about his team, and I definitely respect that. Young Hitter says that was a great competitive game. Absolutely. Let's see. Jesus says, will they sign other running backs? So the 49ers are currently working out running backs Duke Johnson, Lamar Miller, and TJ Yeldon. Those are the current running backs who are being worked out. And Tanner Connor, the running back we signed from Baltimore, I think from Baltimore's practice squad, I believe he is healthy. And I know Mitchell went out of the game but came back in. Looks like he has something with his shoulder. Jermichael Hasty has the ankle. Trey Sermon has a possible head injury / concussion. So those 3 players, I think we'll know more about as the week progresses. But I would imagine we're going to sign at least 1, maybe 2 of those running backs for sure. Let's see. Jerome 43-100. What's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, Jerome. He says fourth quarter, third, and second to put game away. Eagles no time out. We didn't finish the game. Put them away. You know, I can't lie, I was definitely nervous when the Niners had the ball last because the Eagles defensive front, and, I got to pay my respect to the Eagles defensive front. I thought that would be a crucial battle. And I thought the Eagles had a slight edge over us on the interior of their defensive line versus the interior of our offensive line. And that showed. The first quarter of the game, we could not run the ball at all. And Shanahan was very smart. He changed up, from handing off the ball and the back running up the middle. He reverted to doing some toss plays. That allowed Mitchell to get some space. And, we had more success with runs on the edge opposed to just running up the middle. So that was a great job by Shanahan. And even the last drive with the 49ers, we tried to run the ball up the gut for, the first play. And, I think it was a no gain or it was a loss of yards. So that defensive front for Philly is formidable for sure. They're very good, especially Cox and Hargrove up the middle. Very difficult to run on them. And I was thinking, man, if we're going to win this game, we have to be able to pass the ball. Jimmy's going to have to make good reads. Jimmy's going to have to deliver a catchable ball. And he did that. And I think that's part of the reason why we won the game. Also, Jimmy has some good quarterback sneaks. That helped as well. But yeah, we put them away, Jerome. We definitely put them away. And shout out to the Niners. And I'm definitely looking forward to Game 3, Sunday Night Football prime time. We get some good old Green Bay Packers. I'm definitely looking forward to that game. Titan Troll says, what's up, Jay in the Bay? Tennessee Titans beat the Seahawks by a field goal. Go Titans. Yeah, that was a good overtime game. I'm glad you guys, beat the Seahawks. That definitely helped everyone in the division, including the 49ers. So I appreciate that, Titans fan. Let's see. Young Hitter says prayers to all the injured players. Absolutely. Hopefully they recover. Hopefully it's nothing too serious. Jesus says, would you rather want a veteran running back or young, skillful Mitchell like running back? Probably I would rather have a young, skillful Mitchell playing the running back position. Someone who's fast, someone who hits the hole. They don't do too much dancing. They just hit the hole and go. And now out of these three running backs, Duke Johnson, Lamar Miller, and TJ Yeldon, honestly, I'm not sure. I would have to look at their stats, look at what they did with their last teams. I remember Duke Johnson was good with Cleveland, but he kind of fell out of favor there. Lamar Miller has been on a lot of different teams the last few years. And the same with TJ Yeldon, same thing. But all those guys aren't on teams for reasons, clearly teams did not feel that they would be able to help their team win. That's why they haven't signed to a team yet, and that's why they're free agents. For everyone that's here in the chat, I appreciate if you give this video a thumbs up. Let YouTube and I know that you're enjoying the stream. Also, leave a thumbs up if you're glad that the 49ers started the season 2-0. Leave a thumbs up if you're glad that the 49ers started 2-0. I would appreciate that. Also, hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already to your boy, Jay in the Bay. Dusty Turtle 8112. What's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, man. He says, LOL, you ain't kidding. Just go over to Grant Cohn's channel. And shout out to Grant Cohn, man. He is, I have to respect his work ethic, his intellect. Don't always agree with him, but, he's a great content creator. You got to respect the hustle, the grind. But, yeah, I mean, I think that's what, not only that's what gets clicks, but some people, they gear to the negative. I know Jimmy, for people that are expecting Jimmy G to have like a Tom Brady or Pat Mahomes or Russell Wilson stat line, that's just not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. That's not what Shanahan asked Jimmy to do. And let's be real, those quarterbacks are at the top of their game. They're at the top of their field. Those are top 5 quarterbacks. We all know there's no debate here. Jimmy G is not a top 5 quarterback. He's not. He may do this once or twice a year where he'll have a game where, he goes 25 or 40, 350 yards, 4 touchdowns, something like that. Now, he has thrown for 300 yards already this year, the first week against the Detroit Lions. But if you're constantly expecting Jimmy G to have that type of performance, you're never going to be satisfied. You're always going to be disappointed. So we have to temper our expectations. I know that Jimmy G is just not that type of quarterback, but that's why we drafted Trey Lance. We drafted Trey Lance to be the young bull, the next future franchise quarterback. But with Jimmy, we've seen it. Jimmy can make enough plays to get wins, and we've seen that. And that's why Jimmy is still the starting quarterback. Some may not like it, some may love it. I like it because we're winning games. Jimmy has I don't think Jimmy has thrown a interception yet this year. Correct me if I'm wrong. He might have thrown. Did he throw one against Detroit? I don't know. It seems so long ago. But Jimmy has played basically turnover-free football. He's made plays when he's had to. He's ran for first downs, and you guys can't lie. Jimmy G does look more mobile now that he's not playing with that knee brace on. He is able to escape the pocket. He can run for a first down. He slides. So Jimmy is doing enough to make winning plays. And right now we're 2-0. I think this team is doing good for the amount of injuries we've had already. And I think it's pretty much 90% positive, and I would say 10% negative. Of course, there are no perfect wins. There's always things that can be improved on, of course. But, this team went on the road the first 2 games of the year, went out and won. We're 2-0. Okay, now let's try to build on from that. And I think we will. I trust this coaching staff. Don Dodson, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, Don. She says, good afternoon, Jay and the Bay. I hope you're having a good afternoon as well. Local 49ers fan says, I think the defensive line needs to swarm Aaron Rodgers fast next week. It's easy for Rodgers to get discouraged in game time. I would agree with that. But yeah, for whatever reason, Aaron Rodgers, if you punch him in the mouth, you're able to, get on him early. It just doesn't seem like he has much fight. And I think the Niners, it's going to be an interesting matchup because obviously Aaron Rodgers will be the best quarterback by far that we played this year. Devontae Adams is an elite receiver. He's definitely the best receiver we faced. So there's definitely an advantage on the Packers side in that front. But, we want to win the game in the trenches. And, the last few times we played the Packers besides last year, we've punched them in the mouth. We've been able to run the ball effectively. And, and Aaron Rodgers hasn't had much fight. It doesn't seem like – I'm not saying he quits, but when we get a lead on the Packers, we usually keep that lead and we usually win the game. So I think if we're able to run the ball effectively, get a few 3-and-outs on the Packers offense, I think we'll do just fine. But I agree. It's going to start in the trenches on both sides of the ball. Corey Davis, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, KD. He says, hello, Jay and the Bay. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday. I am, man. It's a victory Monday. What could be better than the faithful, the Niner Empire? We 2-0, baby. What could be better, man? Jeff Salazar, what's good? Appreciate you joining the stream today, man. And I think you are a new viewer of Jay and the Bay. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for tuning in to the stream. Jeff says, how many people call Tom Brady a game manager, but it's a bad label when it's Jimmy G? Yeah, I mean, but Tom Brady, like, for instance, he has those games. For instance, yesterday against the Falcons, did he throw for like 4 or 5 touchdowns? He had over 350 like passing yards. Like TB12, he definitely makes it look easy when he's out there. And I think, some fans want Jimmy G to have those types of performances, but I don't think that's not really reality. That's not Jimmy G isn't as good of a quarterback as Tom Brady. Newsflash, for those that don't know, Jimmy G is not as good of a quarterback as Tom Brady. I think most people know that, if not all people. But if you're expecting Jimmy G to have those type of performances, you're always going to be disappointed. You're always going to be left wanting more. But I think you got to, temper your expectations. Or it could be, doesn't matter what Jimmy does. He'll never be able to satisfy those fans, because they want to see Trey every year. And I respect that. But I'm down with Jimmy because we're winning. Simple as that. Jeff Salazar says, keep the winner winning. If JG goes down, we have the best to call up behind him. Exactly. And that's why, Shanahan and Lynch moved up, 9 picks to pick number 3 overall, and we have our quarterback of the future, Trey Lance. I think he'll be fine when he goes in, but for right now, there's no need to rock the boat. There's a reason why Trey didn't even come in the game yesterday. That was telling right there. J.A. Aguayo, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, J.A. He says, good victory Monday. Absolutely. He says, good victory Monday to you, Jay in the Bay. I think we underestimate how incredibly physical the NFL is. It's very hard to win going to the East Coast. 2-0 is 2-0. Absolutely. And I think I saw a stat. They had a stat up on the broadcast yesterday saying that the Niners were 7-1 or 8-1 on games on the East Coast since Shanahan has been the head coach. So that's very good. That means the team is focused. They realize the task at hand, and they're ready to go. They're motivated to play. And East Coast trip, we're 2-0. I don't see what you could really complain about. You could say, hey, there's things that we can do better. Every team could say that. Every team could say we could do better. It doesn't matter if they're 2-0, 1-1, or 0-2. Every team, I'm sure, feels like they did not play their best game. They did not have a perfect performance. And who really expects to play their best game in the first 2 weeks of the season? Usually you try to slowly get better as the week goes on. And, by December, you should be playing your best football for sure. But 2-0 is 2-0, and I'm glad we're there. Niners, 49 for life. What's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, man. He says Todd Gurley is a free agent. No one signed him. I could have sworn Todd Gurley was signed by the Ravens. I thought he was, but maybe I'm mistaken. But I would be surprised if we picked him up because the Niners haven't even really inquired about a workout for Todd Gurley. So I would be surprised if we sign him. But I'm all for bring him in for a workout. I don't care if we bring him in for a workout. But yeah, it looks like Todd Gurley is currently a free agent. Yeah, I think he did have a workout with the Ravens, but he didn't sign with them. So let's see. Travis Berg says someone should pick up Gurley. Okay, probably. I hope you're having a great afternoon as well, Don. Thanks for tuning in. Niners 49 for life says the Bucs are looking at Richard Sherman. They might sign him. Yeah, I saw a report. I think it was Sunday that several teams were inquiring about Richard Sherman, and that would be interesting if he signed on. I know the Niners have been in touch with Richard Sherman as well, but I hope all the best for Richard Sherman, and hopefully, he. Hopefully he gets, because he did say himself he had some issues that he was working through. So hopefully he gets those, handled, or he gets those situations better, off the field prior to, signing on with the team. But, I hope the best for Richard Sherman, whether he's with the 49ers or not. But, hopefully he gets those situations taken care of. Don Dodson says, bang, bang, Niner gang. Absolutely. Fernando, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, Fernando. He says, how's it going, Jay in the Bay? It's all good on a victory Monday. We 2-0. Oh, what could be better, Fernando? Tanya Sayal, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, Tanya. She says, what's up, Jay? Hi, faithful. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming through. And, I appreciate all the support. 49ers Ultimate Report says, Jay in the Bay, Jimmy G avoiding sacks and running looks good. Do you agree? Absolutely. He looks good, dipping his shoulder to the right, to the left, avoiding the pressure from the defensive line. He's sliding, he's getting down. And he looks good. He definitely looks like, he is 2 years removed from that torn ACL. His mobility definitely looks a lot better. And yes, I would agree with that. That's an astute observation there. Jeff says, what's good? Great show, great comments, and new favorite stream. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Feel free to subscribe as well, and tell, all the 49er fans, to check out your boy, Jay in the Bay, man. I appreciate you coming through. Appreciate all the support. Let's see. So there was something I wanted to get into. Of course, this is Reaction Monday. I appreciate everyone who's conversing with me now in the stream. I appreciate all those comments, all the likes. Make sure you subscribe. Oh, we got G Rod. What's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, G Rod. He says, "Hey Jay, I'm beyond frustrated that for the second year straight, we have pretty much been decimated once again in major injuries to our starters and just don't know what's going to happen now." Well, one of a Jay in the base supporter, his name is John. He mentioned that, hey, maybe we should install, the artificial turf that we play on in our practice facility. I think that's a good idea. The 49ers should do. Shout out to 49ers First Takes. He's really frustrated as well about these injuries, and I am as well. But he mentioned that, the 49ers are signing injury prone players. Raheem Mostert, he's been nicked up, but when he was brought on, he was just a special teams guy. He was elevated to the running back position, and he balled out, and the Niners weren't expecting that. Jason Verrett, who would have known that he would have been a Pro Bowl player last year, played every game, and he got hurt. Obviously, if you look at his career, he's been battling injuries his entire career. So one of those two players who have season-ending injuries now were brought on basically. Hey, we'll give you a 1-year deal. In the case of Mostert, you'll be a special teams player. In the case of Verrett, hey, you could become a solid cornerback for us. We really don't know. You've been injury prone a lot, so let's just give you a 1-year deal and see how it goes. And, it turned out that Jason Verrett was playing, at a Pro Bowl corner level last year. And those two injuries are definitely unfortunate. But, yeah, the Niners, we should not draft players who have been who have had several injuries in high school and college. Like when we get to the pros, you can't just, flip a switch. You can't snap your fingers and say, oh, okay, well, these guys aren't going to get hurt anymore. That's just not how it is. But, another thing is, are there really players who have never been hurt in football? Like it's not a matter of if you get hurt. It's a matter of when. It's a physical sport. I know 49ers First Take hates to say that. 49ers First Take hates to hear that. Hey, it's a physical sport, baby. It's a physical sport. Injuries happen, baby. But, yeah, it is very frustrating. The Niners should adjust their approach. They should not, have players. They should not sign players or draft players who have had, several injuries in college and pros or in college and high school and things like that. I would agree with that. But, hopefully this is a lesson to be learned. Maybe the 49ers need to change their strength and conditioning. I don't know. But I agree with you, G Rod. Something has to change. I agree with you. Corey Davis, what's good? I appreciate that super chat, man. He says, it looks like I am going to eat my words on Matthew Stafford. Are you giving up already, KD? For those that don't know, KD, he was like, man, Matt Stafford ain't better than Jared Goff. Matt Stafford ain't never done nothing in the playoffs, which is true, KD. But, Matt Stafford, he looked good, and I'm not surprised. Matt Stafford can definitely throw the ball. He just hasn't had the success in the playoffs. And KD goes on to write, the 49ers are 2-0, Arizona 2-0, Rams 2-0, and the Seahawks 1-1. Yeah, and the Seahawks could have easily won that game against the Titans, but, they kind of fell apart in the fourth quarter. But, that would have been crazy if all four teams would have been undefeated. But the Seahawks couldn't keep their end of the bargain, G-Rod says, but the thing is, we signed all these pieces for depth and lost all of them. I mean, what were the chances of this happening? And you see teams like KC that seem like their players never get hurt. Well, KC's 2 offensive linemen got hurt last year in the playoffs. So injuries happen to every team. They do. Now, the injuries have been happening more frequently to the 49ers, but I think part of that is because you look at, Nick Bosa, he's been injury prone. You look at D Ford, he's been injury prone. Jason Verrett, Raheem Mostert's been nicked up. Those are the 4 that immediately come to mind. You look at Jalen Hurd, he's injury prone. Dre Greenlaw, this is the first major injury I've seen him have on the 49ers. I'm trying to think of any other. I mean, Jimmy Ward, he was even injury prone earlier on in his career. Jaquiski Tart. K'Wan Williams was nicked up a little bit. I'm trying to think if there's any. Javon Kinlaw has had injuries since, high school and college, I believe. And he had some issues with his knee coming out of college. Javon Kinlaw did. So the 49ers, but to me, I don't know. Maybe I'm naive. I think that is very common. This is a physical sport. Injuries happen. Now, maybe you can add those players, as G. Ross said, as depth players, players that you're not depending on, to be starters. But that's what they did with Verrett and Raheem Mostert. They weren't expecting them to be starters. They were just expecting them to be depth players at their respective positions. But you know, the Niners, yeah, the Niners should draft players who don't have a lot of injury history. I would agree with that. And hopefully this is a learning lesson for Shanahan and Lynch. G-Rod says, but what I'm trying to figure out is, why does it seem like the 49ers are the team that has been suffering major injuries year after year? I don't get it. I think part of it is, COVID was a crazy year. No training camp, no mini camp, no off-season programs. I think that's one reason. And also the other is we are signing players who have had trouble staying healthy. I think that's one of the two major reasons why. Some people say it's practice, but I don't know if guys are practicing too hard. Joe Staley was on with Dante Hittner on I think it was an after show talking about the 49ers, and he was saying that the players due to the new CBA agreement, they don't have to report to the team facility as much. So players now have to take more of their conditioning, their training. They have to be more responsible for it than ever before because they're not at the team facility. So Joe Staley, could be saying, hey, the guys aren't lifting as much. The guys aren't coming into camp in great shape. Or some guys, some do, some don't. And that could be a reason why as well. But, hopefully we have better luck with our health, going forward. Jay Aguayo says the faithful have to appreciate that we have a QB1 that can operate the Shanahan system. Trey will have his time to shine this year. We have to focus on the good things that our team does. Absolutely. We definitely have to focus on the positive things that our team does. And I think that's part of the reason why we're 2-0. And speaking of the positive things that our team does, I'm going to try something new. I'm going to share my screen and just go over the team stats for the 49ers and Eagles game. Let me know if you guys see what I'm seeing. So right now I'm seeing the ESPN. I'm on ESPN right now. We got the 49ers and Eagles stats up. Can you guys see this screen? Let me know in them comments. And Jay Aguayo says the Ravens lost running backs 1, 2, and 3. Exactly, all to injuries. Let me know. Can you guys see this screen where it shows the 49ers and Eagles stats? Let me know in them comments because I wanted to go over some of the stats that really stood out, some of the positives, some of the cons. So let me know. Can you see this screen on ESPN? Let me know in the comments section. Let's see. I'm gonna go back and forth. Let's see. So local 49ers fan says it's a small screen, but it's there. Okay. Does that make it bigger? Let's see. KD says I can't. Okay. Let's see. Maybe is it a bigger screen now? Let me know if you guys see it. Okay, so Jay Aguayo says yes, we can. Okay, so what I wanted to talk about was the Niners and Eagles stats in the game. So let me go back to the screen so you guys can see me while I'm talking. Let me go back to this screen. So okay, so let's use this screen for example. So what the 49ers did really well. Here's what I think the 49ers did really well in this game. On third down conversions, we were 6 of 14. So I think that's solid. That's pretty decent. It's under 50%. But, I think obviously the first quarter was terrible, right? The first quarter, we couldn't move the ball. We had several 3-and-outs. I think we had at least 3 or 4 3-and-outs, and obviously that was terrible. Um, but fortunately, we got better at the end of the first half. And obviously, let's see. Let's continue to scroll down. Let's see. We had 2 of 2 in the red zone. I think that was definitely important. 2 of 2 in the red zone. We scored on all our red zone attempts. That was definitely something we needed to do. And we had less penalties than the Eagles. If you look, we only had 5 penalties compared to the Eagles' 8 penalties. And I think those were definitely some things that we needed to do. And I think this was I noticed this when the Eagles played their first game that they had 14 penalties, and that was definitely something that I thought would continue. I think the Eagles can be an undisciplined team, and I think that showed, especially with that roughing. I think it was after the play was over, a defensive lineman. I think it was Barnett who hit. I think it was our running back. I think it might have been Mitchell or Hasty. He hit him after the play was over. So I think the Eagles can be an undisciplined team. And I think that showed, on the field. Also, we won the time of possession faithful. That was a huge deal. Winning the time of possession, 34 minutes to the Phillies, 25 minutes. I think that was a key in us winning the game. But I just wanted to share that screen. It's just something I wanted to add. I will continue adding that. But so let's get back to what I think they did well. But first, let's go to G-Rod. G-Rod says the Eagles seem to be a serious contender to go far if they stay healthy, and their quarterback and defense seem to be very difficult and could cause problems for a lot of teams. Your thoughts? No, I would agree. I think the Eagles have nothing to be ashamed of. I think they played a good game. I think they could be a contender in the NFC East. It seems like, honestly, that NFC East division is just wide open. I mean, the Cowboys look good. They went on the road to beat the Chargers yesterday. They're 1-1. Washington, I think they're 1-1. And the Eagles, they're 1-1. And who else? The Giants. I think the Giants are 0-2. So I think that division is wide open. I really have no idea who's the best team in that division. But, the Eagles, they've just played a team that was just a little bit better than they were yesterday, that made more plays at the end of the day. But I think the Eagles are a solid team. I think they are a solid team for sure. Let's see. Luke Luna says, well, good thing Jimmy G is giving us rushing yards. Luke Luna, what's good? Appreciate you coming through to the stream, Double L. Jimmy G, hey, his mobility is definitely increased now that he has that knee brace off. That's for sure. And, it's good to see him able to, evade the defensive pass rush. Definitely good to see that. And I'm looking forward to the Sunday night game. Jimmy G going up against that Packers defense for sure. Let's get into the slides. As I mentioned before, the 49ers were 2-2 in the red zone. We committed less penalties than Philly, and we won the time of possession. Those, I think, were one of the three main reasons we won the game, and we had no turnovers. Now, I don't know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think. I don't know what is up with the lack of productivity or the lack of targets for George Kittle, one of our best playmakers on the field. Shout out to Debo. He's been balling, but I want to see George Kittle get more involved in this offense. I don't know how you guys feel. George Kittle, I think he only had like 4 targets. I mean, come on, Jimmy G. What's up with that? It's either Jimmy not looking for Kittle, Shanahan maybe not getting plays in to get Kittle involved in the offense. I don't know what it is, but that is one thing that's concerning me, is that the lack of production from George Kittle. I would have to look at the all 22. I don't know if it's Kittle's fault. I don't know if the defense is double teaming Kittle. I don't know what it is, but to be only targeted 4 times and you're one of the best tight ends in the NFL, I don't understand that. And I mentioned on third down conversion, 6 of 14. Obviously, we were terrible in the first quarter. we picked that up as the game progressed. We only averaged 3.1 yards per carry on 38 rushing attempts. I mean, that's pretty bad. But the offensive line struggled in the first half for sure, blocking the interior of the Eagles' defensive line. I thought that would be a battle that I thought that the Eagles would have the upper hand. But we were still able to run the ball 38 times, and we won the time of possession. So, that was good winning the time of possession, but definitely the 3 yards per carry on 38 rushing attempts is bad. But we faced a pretty good defensive team, in the Eagles for sure. Let's see. Luke Luna says, you guys started out hot last year too, but I'll tell you this, Carr is the most underrated quarterback in football right now. He is asked to put that team on his back. Yeah, I think Carr definitely looked good. He played pretty well Monday night against the Ravens at home. He went on the road against the Steelers. They got a win. They got a win without their best running back, and I think also one of their offensive linemen is out for the year as well. So, hey, the Raiders are starting off hot 2-0. For Raiders fans, hopefully they can keep that up. Hopefully they can continue winning, because when they start playing those division games, those will be tough. Chiefs, Chargers, and Broncos, those are 6 games that will be very tough for the Raiders. And for any team, honestly, in the NFL. Luke Luna says we're working out Duke Johnson and another guy to bring in for running back. Yep. We are bringing in so Duke Johnson, Lamar Miller, and TJ Yeldon. Those are the 3 running backs we're bringing in. Luke Luna says, well, Jay, we had to use Kittle to stop that D-line. We had to use him to block as well as Juice instead of in the actual offense. Thank goodness he's so good at blocking. Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's something that I did not factor in, that Kittle was probably, left in to block a lot to help that offensive line, which makes sense. I guess, as a fan, I just want to see the ball be put in our best playmakers' hands. And I just feel like, this so far, Kittle, he hasn't been used enough. You look at Darren Waller, you look at Travis Kelce, they are targeted a lot more often than George Kittle. So if it's one thing I could harp on that I'm kind of disappointed in, is the lack of productivity from Kittle. I want to see he should get. I don't see why George Kittle shouldn't get at least 10 targets a game. I don't think that's asking too much. He is the best tight end, in my opinion, in the NFL. He is one of our best playmakers. He should be getting targeted a lot more often. I think so. Livy's World, what's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, Livy's World. Thank you for your continued support. Hopefully you had a great weekend, and hopefully thanks for tuning into the stream. Mrs. Bird Gang 31, what's good? Appreciate you joining the stream. She says dropping in to show some love. Fly, Eagles, fly. LOL. Will you continue to rep your team? Y'all have nothing to be ashamed of. Y'all played well yesterday. We were just a better team yesterday. Ain't no shame in that. Let's see. Luke Luna says, Luke Luna says, I checked Bergane to see if he had a live stream to peep his thoughts on the loss. Yeah, I checked in on his live stream yesterday. I popped in and say, what's good? And, Bergane, he said, hey, the Niners were the better team yesterday. And he accepted the loss. He wasn't a sore loser or nothing like that. So that was definitely, good to see, because I would react the same way. I give my props to the team if we lose. And obviously there are things that we could have done and the Eagles could have done to get better. But, the Eagles, I think they're a solid team. They could win that NFC East division for sure. Let's see. Local 49ers fan says, I didn't mind Kittle not being used yesterday since the Philly D-line was getting its pressures in yesterday in the run, and we running that toss quite a bit starting in the second quarter. I can dig it. Just from a selfish point of view, I just want to see Kittle eat. He, like I said before, he is, one of our best playmakers. And when he gets the ball in his hands, he makes things happen. And I think he had 2 screen passes or 1 screen pass George Kittle had. But yeah, I just want to see him, used more in the passing game. And I'm sure that'll come along as the season progresses. Let's see. Jesus says, how did the O-line fare versus Eagles D-line overall? Well, I think the Eagles D line definitely won that matchup yesterday. I would say I think the 49ers offensive lineman played well enough for us to win. Trent Williams, you didn't hear Trent Williams' name because he was pretty much, blocking, handling his one-on-one matchup. But and McGlinchey, he played good for the most part. He did allow one pressure, I believe, on Jimmy G from Josh Sweat. But other than that, I think it was the interior of the offensive line that was getting the most. You got Fletcher Cox, you got Hargrove. They definitely made their presence felt yesterday. That's for sure. But that was a tough matchup, and I don't think it necessarily gets any easier next week against the Packers. I mean, they have the Smith brothers, who at times they can play at an elite level, especially they can get after the passer. And I'm not sure who they have on the interior of their defensive line. That's something I have to research. But I believe the Green Bay Packers' best left tackle, Bakhtiari, is still out. So it'd be interesting to see that matchup against Nick Bosa. I'm sure he will, have fun against the Green Bay Packers for sure. But yeah, that'll be an interesting matchup. I have to do more research on the Packers and who they have, but definitely looking forward to it. Let's see. Luke says, yeah, Kittle played all 70 something snaps, so he was definitely being used other ways, because if he was running 70 something routes, he would have had a lot of yards. So he was blocking for sure. Yeah. Yep. I understand that. Hopefully we won't have to use him for pass blocking next week, and hopefully we can see him eat more. I just want to see him being utilized more, because I see Waller and Kittle and Kelsey, they have a lot of catches, and obviously they're used differently. You could argue, well, obviously we know Pat Mahomes is better. Derek Carr and Jimmy G, some will say Derek Carr, some will say Jimmy, but I just feel like Carr, he just targets Waller more. There's no doubt about that, and I just want Jimmy to target Kittle more. So that is one. That is just one gripe. One gripe I have. Um, let's see. So those were the bad things. Kittle only 4 targets. A third down conversion rate was terrible in the first half, and then we only averaged 3.1 yards per carry on 38 rushing attempts. Now I have some game balls that I want to give out to certain players who, were effective. They made a difference in the game. But first, we got to give out some honorable mentions. So my honorable mentions for game balls is Trent Williams. You could literally give him a game ball every week, but I want to give him an honorable mention because you really didn't hear his name. He blocked his edge rusher who was lined up on him, and he allowed Jimmy G to have a clean pocket to throw from. Fred Warner, you could give him a game ball every week as well. he led the 49ers in tackles again, and he was just all over the field, and he made his presence felt. Now, if I want to look up exact stats for Fred Warner, let me look it up real quick. So let's see. Fred Warner yesterday. So we look at, let's see, defense. So Fred Warner led the team with 7 total tackles, 5 of them solo. He had 1 tackle for loss. Got to give an honorable mention to Nick Bosa. He had 3 total tackles, and he had 2 sacks, 1 tackle for loss. That was Nick Bosa. So, Nick Bosa's he made his presence felt for sure in the game. He had a great motor, and he was constantly getting after, Jalen Hurts. And got to give honorable mention to the rookie corner, the 5th round pick, Lenore. I certainly did not imagine Lenore would be playing starter first string snaps at the beginning of the season. Obviously, due to injuries to Emmanuel Mosley and Jason Verrett, that thrusted Lenore into the starting position. And I think for a rookie, he's played pretty well. I think he could definitely be a corner in this league. He did get beat on 2 plays, but those are some things that a rookie will do, and I think he will get better with time. But if we look at Lenore's stats, Lenore was he had 5 total tackles and 3 passes defense. That's the most on the team with his passes defense, so that's good. And I think we've got a great, a cornerback as a 5th round pick. And who would have thought that he would be playing as many snaps as he is now? And he definitely seems like he belongs in the NFL. And I mentioned before, for those who may have not mentioned or have not heard at the beginning of the stream, shout out to Wisnowski, our punter. This game came down to which team turned over the ball the least amount of times, which team had the least amount of penalties, and which team's special team made more plays. And I think the Niners did that. And Mitch Wisnowski is part of that. He had 5 punts in this game, and 3 of them were in the 20-yard line. So that forced the Eagles to, they had a longer field in order to gain yards and in order to score a touchdown. So shout out to Mitch Wisnowski, the punter. Usually we don't hear a lot from the punter, but I have to recognize Mr. Wisnowski. He did an excellent job yesterday in getting 3 punts in the 20-yard line. And that's what a punter's job is to do. Punt the ball and have it land in the 20-yard line, and the other special teams player grab the ball, down it, and that way the opposing offense, they have to travel more yards in order to score a touchdown. So those are my honorable mentions for game balls. Let's get to these comments. Let's see. J.A. Aguayo, hot diggity dog. I appreciate that, J.A. Aguayo. Appreciate that $5 super chat. He says, always great discussion. Go Niner Empire. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that super chat. I'm glad you're enjoying the discussion. If everyone else is too, make sure you leave a thumbs up for the video, especially if you're excited about the 49ers being 2-0. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to Jay in the Bay. I appreciate it. Let's see. Luke Luna says Tart saves Demo behind. Yeah, you're right about that. Because okay, let's be real. Lenore, he got beat twice. I know. On one of the plays, the Eagles receiver stepped out of bounds, so obviously that helped us greatly, because otherwise that would have been a touchdown. And then he did get beat, and Tart, continued to run after the player, and Tart, attempted to make a tackle. He slowed down the receiver, and then Lenore made the finishing tackle. So absolutely, Tart, he saved Tart and Lenore saved a touchdown. I believe that play happened, and we had a 4th down stop. And that was another thing that we did great. Our defense, of course, was great, and that 4th down red zone stop was crucial. That could have been 7 points with the Eagles, and in turn, it was only 3 points, or excuse me, it was 0 points because we had a 4th down stop. So let's continue on with these comments. Let's see. JB and M Sports Fanatic. What's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, JB. Keep doing your thing, man. I see you doing live streams of all the games. Definitely enjoy watching you live stream the game, give your perspective on the game. If you guys haven't checked out JB and M Sports Fanatic, make sure you check him out. Always good content. Always updates his viewers with NFL breaking news. So definitely a good person to subscribe to, man. And thanks for tuning in to the stream, man. Luke Luna says Tart tracked down that deep pass. If he wasn't there, that would have been a touchdown. He tag teamed that tackle once Tart had grabbed him and started to drag him down. Ward saved Lenore on 1-2. Exactly. And I think for the circumstances, Lenore is playing well. Is he perfect? No. Is he elite? No. But, we're thrusting him into the starting position because of Verrett and Mosley out. And I think he's playing very admirably, I would say. But I appreciate those thoughts, Luna. Luke says, but Demo kept up with Smith and Rager more than I thought because they are really quick wide receivers. So I agree. Demo has promise. Absolutely. If you look at the Eagles wide receivers week one against the Falcons versus them yesterday, it's like night and day. It's almost like, who are those receivers, that played yesterday? They weren't the same receivers that played week one. So I attribute that to the 49ers defense. Let's see. G-Rod said, so with all these injuries and lost players, how do we honestly look like going forward without all these guys? Realistically, it doesn't look great. That's a very good point. I think to say, oh, we're Super Bowl bound, or we're going to make a deep run in the playoffs. I think it's, if you want to think that, that's fine, but we do have to be realistic, and we may have to temper our expectations. I think this team can still be a playoff team, but I like to say, hey, let's take it game by game. But if you ask me now, yeah, I think we're still a playoff team for sure. I don't see why not. But also, it depends on when we play our divisional games. Like, we have to be very competitive in our divisional games. We're going to have to definitely win some of those division games, and I think that's going to be a big factor in us making the playoffs. But I like to say next man up. I know some people say, well, the next man up ain't good, but that's how, that's how you have to look at it. Do you think the players in the locker room who are healthy, who are competing, who are playing, are going to say, well, the season's over, Raheem Mostert got hurt, or up, Jason Verrett got hurt? No, you still have to keep playing. You still have to be positive. And, that's the outlook they have, I'm sure. And that's the outlook I'm going to have. Do we have to temper our expectations? Probably. But I'm still looking forward to game days, and I still think we could compete with some of the best teams in the NFL until, that doesn't happen, until we have evidence that, oh, we're not good enough due to our injuries. We can't compete. We haven't seen that yet. So I'm still going to, obviously root for this team, and I'm still going to have a positive outlook. Let's see. Luke says, well, good thing we will be getting Sermon back soon because he can have a good season. Absolutely. Yeah, I think hopefully Sermon comes back. Hopefully, I haven't heard anything on the injury front. I haven't heard anything from as far as injury standpoint. Only thing I've heard so far is the running backs that the Niners have invited to work out. I haven't heard anything about the injury, so we'll probably hear more about those things as the week progresses. That's what I would say. But yeah, the 49ers, we had several injuries in the game. Defensive tackle Kevin Givens, he has an ankle injury. Running back Elijah Mitchell, a shoulder injury. Running back Jermichael Hasty, ankle injury. And running back Trey Sermon, a concussion. So we'll see how those injuries progress throughout the week. And hopefully they'll all be ready on Sunday. We'll see. Luke says, I think Kyle schemes up these wide receivers to run after the catch to make up for the lack of running back depth. That's an interesting perspective. I don't know if they do that to make up for the lack of running back depth. I think he likes to get the ball to receivers in space. And, we're known for the Yak Bros, Kittle, Ayuk, and Debo. And, Debo has been excellent for us, this season. He's had an excellent 2 games. He's looking good his 3rd season. Hopefully that productivity continues to increase. Star Scream sub 026. What's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, man. He says, what's up, man? Hopefully you had a good weekend. Are you excited that the Niners are 2-0? Let me know in them comments. Let's see. Luke Luna says, sounds like the running back will be back shortly. What's Mitchell's injury? So Mitchell's got the shoulder. I don't know if it's torn, separated. I don't know, but it was getting looked at on the sideline during the game. And I just looked at the recent 49er news. There's nothing There's no news on the recent injuries as far as diagnosis. We don't know yet, so maybe we'll have a better idea tomorrow. The Yeet Master BTW, what's good? Appreciate you joining the stream, man. He says, did you know that Zach Wilson is on pace to beat Peyton Manning's record of 28 interceptions as a rookie? Stat say that he will have 42 and a half interceptions this year. Hot diggity dog. I don't think he'll have that many, but he definitely had a terrible year, or excuse me, a terrible game yesterday. I think he threw like 4 interceptions. But yeah, he's a rookie. Rookies do that sometimes. And as you mentioned, Peyton Manning did that his rookie year. J. Aguayo says nothing scientific, but maybe the human body is reaching its limits because players are so much faster and more explosive. The force on the body is reaching its limit. Any thoughts? I don't know. I would say, I don't know why players are getting hurt, other than it's a physical sport, and then some players are just more injury prone than others. I'm not sure if there's anything else Kyle Shanahan can do, whether it's changing up the strength and conditioning coach, whether it's maybe the players should start practicing on artificial turf, the same turf that they're playing on. I think maybe that could be the issue. But yeah, I don't know about the human body reaching its limits. I'm not sure on that, but I would say the 49ers, if they're not already, they need to start playing on that artificial turf that they play in games in. I think maybe that would help. Maybe. And then also, not signing players who have had, multiple injuries throughout their career. That's something else. Enjoy my world. What's good? Appreciate you joining the stream. Enjoy my world. I know you are hotter than fish grease about your good old ATL Falcons. Did they 0-2? When y'all gonna get your first win? Enjoy my world. Let me know in them comments. Luke Luna says, I agree. I just mean, while our running backs are out, I think we will get more creative with the way we get the wide receiver the ball. I would agree with that. And since our defense, obviously, we played great yesterday, but I think the offense may have to score more points this season. With the defense not being at 100% full strength, I think more pressure is going to be put on Jimmy G and the offense to score more points. And I think they're up for the challenge for sure. Luke Luna says the Jets are a really bad team. I'm beyond surprised Salah wanted to coach that team. I guess he fell in love with the idea of drafting the guy he wanted and building around it. That's absolutely one of the reasons. Was also, Luke, there's only 32 NFL jobs. And when a team is interested in you, you're interested in them. You don't get many opportunities to become a head coach. He was, he rose up the ranks pretty quickly. I guess you would say after, he became the 49ers defensive coordinator. He had some successful years as our defensive coordinator. And, that allowed him to have an opportunity to be a head coach. And, you probably shouldn't be turning down too many jobs to be a head coach. I mean, it doesn't matter what team it's on. It's a head coaching job in the NFL, and there's only 32 of them. But, no one was expecting the Jets to be a playoff team this year. No one was expecting Zach Wilson to be a Pro Bowl player. And the Jets are a rebuilding team. It's going to take some time. And, hopefully they progressively get better as the seasons go on. The Yeet Master says, do you think that the 49ers are going to keep up this pace just like the Cardinals, or do you think they will take a step back next week, even though it's week 3? When you say keep up this pace, are you saying just like winning games in general? I think so. I think we will beat the Packers. And then after that, I think we've got the Seahawks and then the Cardinals. Those will probably be our next toughest games. Let me just double check the schedule. Let's see. So yeah, we got the Packers Sunday Night Football prime time this Sunday. And then we got the Seahawks. It'll be at home for the 49ers. And then we go on the road to play the Cardinals. So I think these next 3 games will be our toughest. There's no doubt about that. And I'm confident. I would say I'm most confident in going up against the Packers. This is our home opener. The fans are back in the stadium. I think that game I'm most confident in us winning. The Seahawks coming here, it's Russell Wilson. He's just on another level. And then we go to play the Cardinals, and then we have our bye week. So these next 3 games, I think they are a real test for our team, and hopefully we can go at least no worse than 2-1. Win 2, lose 1. I would be satisfied with that. Now, if we go 3-0, that'd be incredible. But I would be a little surprised by that. But if we went 2-1, I would be satisfied with that with these next 3 games: home against the Packers, home against the Seahawks, and on the road versus the Cardinals. Enjoy my world. If we don't beat the Giants, then we are officially trash. Yeah, I mean, this is the battle of the 0-2 team. Somebody's got to win the game. Somebody. Who's it going to be? Enjoy my world. Unless y'all tie it, that's an option as well. G-Rod says, so does this mean we're forced to be a passing team with our running backs out? Well, I think Shanahan's going to bring in more running backs. And I think that's still the philosophy of the team. We still want to run the ball. Running the ball, that allows you to win the time of possession. And that's what we did yesterday. We had 34 minutes of time of possession. The Eagles only had 25 minutes. And also with the short passing game, I think that's an extension of the running game. Jimmy G throws, passes sometimes behind the line of scrimmage or 2 or 3 yards from the line of scrimmage. The player catches the ball and, they run for a first down or whatever. I think that's an extension of the running game. Also, the screen passes help. We have toss plays. But I don't think we will be more of a passing team. I think we'll still try to run the ball as much as we can because we're going to bring in more running backs. And we've seen, even with Kyle Shanahan's dad, Mike Shanahan, they've had a plethora of running backs come in and run behind this zone scheme, and they've been successful. So I think we'll still try to run the ball. And so yesterday, Jimmy threw 30 passes, and we ran the ball, let's see, I think it was 38 times. So we clearly still want to run the ball for sure. Luke Luna says, I would have went for that Chargers job with all I had. No, I would agree. I mean, who wouldn't want to live in Cali? You already got your future quarterback, Justin Herbert. But the Chargers, they chose, Brandon Staley. So, good for him. But yeah, I would have much rather had that Chargers job for sure. But, maybe the Jets were more interested. Luke says the Jets were in a better position, the Lions, because more first round picks, more cap space. So I could see that one over Detroit. Yeah. And plus with Detroit's, just lack of winning, they haven't really won anything. At least the Jets, they were solid with Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez. At least they went to the AFC Championship game twice. But yeah, I would have loved the Chargers for sure. Enjoy My World says it shouldn't be like this. It's ridiculous. Man, yeah, and the Falcons are struggling. I can't wait till we play y'all, though. I'm looking forward to it. Luke says, what do you mean like the Cardinals? I think they got lucky to get back into the game, and they certainly got lucky that the Vikings missed that field goal because that should have been all but automatic. Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals, they're still a very talented team. There's no doubt about that. Kyler Murray definitely presents problems to this 49ers defense every time we played them. So, yeah, the Cardinals are a talented team. Are they going to make the playoffs? Who knows? But they're a talented team. Kyler Murray gives us trouble. They still have DeAndre Hopkins, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. They still got Chandler Jones, J.J. Watt. So they're still a more formidable team. They just haven't been able to put it all together to make a playoff run. But I believe the Cardinals are 2-0, just like the 49ers. So that's going to be a difficult game. Put it like this. These next 3 games will be our toughest of the season by far. There's no doubt about that. Enjoy My World says you guys are suffering with the injury bug. Yep. That's right. Unfortunately, again. Jay Aguayo says, I wonder if the NFLPA regrets agreeing to play 17 games. So many injuries in only week 2. I am seeing injuries on every team. Eagles lost Graham and more, I believe. Yeah. Injuries are, it's going to happen every game. It's a physical sport, baby. It's a physical sport. Injuries happen, unfortunately, Very unfortunate. That's why you got to build depth and do what you can to prevent those injuries. And I got to give my defensive game ball, and I'm gonna give my defensive game ball to Javon Kinlaw. Kinlaw was banged up. He went ahead and played. He literally prevented 3 points from being put up on the board for the Eagles. We haven't had a blocked field goal in many, many years. So my defensive game ball goes to Javon Kinlaw. And I'm glad he played. He literally prevented 3 points from being put on the board. How could you not give it to Kinlaw? And as I mentioned before, I did have some honorable mentions for those that are just tuning in. Honorable mentions for game balls. I had Trent, Fred Warner, Bosa, Lenore, and Wisnowski, the punter. But my defensive game ball goes to Javon Kinlaw. My offensive game ball goes to Tuck Your Chain, Deebo Samuel. He's definitely been our best wide receiver. He's been our best offensive player so far these first two games, and especially yesterday with his catches and his contributions to the team. Deebo Samuel gets my offensive game ball, and he's having a hell of a third year to the start of his career. G-Rod says, who plays tonight? It's them good old Green Bay Packers and them Detroit Lions. I'm not really looking forward to this game, but we'll get a chance to see the Green Bay Packers up close. Obviously, they had a horrible first game, but they're going to be ready. They were embarrassed against the Saints. They're going to be ready tonight, Monday Night Football, in front of the world faithful. So this will be interesting to see how the Packers play, who are their playmakers, and, we can scout the team tonight. So that's pretty much the only reason why I'm interested in this game. I don't think it'll be – it could be competitive. I don't think the Lions will quit. But, Green Bay is clearly a more talented team. Let's see. Luke Luna says – or actually, Enjoy My World says that was once us. Yeah, dealing with the injury bug. I definitely agree with that. Luke Luna says, so as far as the Cardinals are concerned, are we so sure that they don't have some of the same issues? Because I think that the Vikings – all but beat them. So I think we certainly can win our games versus Cards. Yeah, I think we can. I think we could compete and we can win games versus our division opponents. But the NFL is hard. There really are no easy games in the NFL. You're still playing against professional players. They still get paid too. And even if you have a lead, if you don't continue to play, that other team will still play hard and they'll try to win the game. Look at Detroit versus us week 1. Look at the Titans versus the Seahawks yesterday. I know, on paper, this team should obliterate the other team, but that's not always, the case. And I'm very concerned about our division opponents. Cardinals, Rams, and Seahawks. All of them present problems, especially with the Seahawks and Cardinals with their quarterbacks. And with Matt Stafford, he looks good with the LA Rams. Luke Luna says, or at least split them, but hopefully we have Sermon for that Cards game because that will make the win much easier. I would definitely agree. Having Sermon would definitely help. And it was disappointing. I wanted to see him. I was surprised that we lost, that he was a healthy scratch in week 1. I was surprised by that. And then he gets his first carry, Sermon, and then he gets hurt, fumbles the ball, and he's out for the game. So, hopefully Sermon will be ready. And, I'm definitely looking forward to our division games. And shout out G-Rod. Shout out to your Fresno State Bulldogs upsetting UCLA, man. Congratulations. Jay Aguayo says what's encouraging for the 49ers is we have very good depth. We weathered injuries in 2019 when Staley and McGlinchey were out for some weeks. Very true. Very true. This team has dealt with injuries, and like for instance in 2019, we were able to overcome that. And hopefully we'll just continue adding talent to the roster, and we will just continue, plugging away. That's all we can really do. I'm interested to see who the running backs will be that we will pick up. Because right now these are the running backs that are being worked out: Duke Johnson, Lamar Miller, TJ Yeldon. And we'll see how, we'll see what's the status of the players I had mentioned earlier who got injured in the game. Defensive tackle Kevin Givens, Elijah Mitchell, Jermichael Hasty and Trey Sermon. So we shall see, how they're doing during the week. We shall see how their injuries progress, and hopefully all three can be available this week against Green Bay. I think we will definitely need them. That's for sure. But I appreciate everyone coming through to check out Jay in the Bay YouTube channel. Shout out to everyone watching on Jay in the Bay Facebook and Jay in the Bay YouTube channel. And I appreciate everyone who was conversing with me in the chat. I appreciate it, especially J.A. Aguayo, Corey Davis, Travis Berg. I appreciate those super chats. Local 49ers fan, I appreciate that. And hopefully you guys have a great Monday. I'll probably watch a little bit of the Monday night game tonight. But I think the Packers should win that game. They at least are better on paper, but obviously that's why they play the games, faithful. Let's see, this Thursday, I might do a collab with the Packers fan. I guess we'll see. I have to get in touch with the Packers fan. Hopefully I can do a collab with them. And then I can pick the brain of a Packers fan, see what they're excited about, see what they need to work on, and go from there. I appreciate that $3 super sticker, Luke Luna. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for your continued support. Luke says, yeah, deep ball Kirk from the Cards is someone to worry about. Maybe we will have Mosley as well. Yeah, that's a great point. Christian Kirk, he's a very speedy wide receiver, and he definitely can present problems to defenses. And I think we saw that yesterday with the Eagles' speedy wide receiver. He was able to get by Lenore. Unfortunately for us, they weren't able to capitalize on those big plays, but there's no doubt Kyler Murray is much better than Jalen Hurts. There's no doubt. No doubt about that. And I'm looking forward to that matchup for sure. But he will present problems to our defense. He's done it in the past, and I'm sure he will. He can make plays. Simple as that. He just knows how to make plays. Same to you, J.A. Aguayo. I appreciate that. Thanks for the good luck. Enjoy my world. Sometimes you need it in the NFL. Let's see. Luke Luna says, have a good day, brother. Make sure to watch the Green Bay game so you can break down what to watch out for when we play them. Absolutely. That's pretty much the only reason I watch. And it's still, it's still early on in the season. It's still professional football. It would be great if the game was competitive for 4 quarters, but I'm not expecting that to happen. But yeah, that is a great idea to see what Green Bay can bring to the table, and especially since we play them, this Sunday night. But I appreciate everyone coming through to the stream. And I'm glad the 49ers, I'm glad we're 2-0. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the news that'll come out, I'm sure, from the 49ers this week. We are working out those running backs. We'll probably sign 1 or maybe even 2 of them this week. And also get an update on the 49ers injuries. And, yep, great point, Luke. Yes, enjoy all football. It won't be here for long. Yep, sooner than you know it, it'll be gone. But I appreciate everyone coming through to rock with your boy, Jay in the Bay. And I'm going to try to do these Monday reactions every week from now on, so you guys can look forward to that. Most likely it will be in the afternoon when I do it. And I appreciate all the support. I appreciate you guys coming on to the stream, talking about the faithful, the Niner Empire. And I appreciate all those super chats as well. And I shout out to everyone who came to the stream and, offered their input on the team. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching your boy, Jay in the Bay. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Go Niners.